Well, good afternoon. It is Friday, but it's not just any Friday, it's NFP Friday. Hi, I'm Francois du Plessis, your market analyst here at ATFX Africa, and we are about to see the US economy get tested. So, without further ado, let's get into it as markets are about to go crazy. So, during this live non-farm payroll breakdown, the data hitting us shortly will shake the dollar, shift stock sentiment, and send gold flying. So, let's get you positioned ahead of the storm. So, top 3 things to look out for during this specific release. Let's start discussing those. And if you do have any questions for me during this session, please let me know as well. I am here to assist. I am here to help you better navigate this extremely key fundamental driver that is being released shortly. So if you are joining me during the session, please drop me a comment as well. Send me a message. I would love to hear from you in the live chat so that we can, all get to know each other a little bit better. And I can also, again, answer each and every one of your questions. So let's get into the data for today. Let's have a look at what is going on. Now, as you can see currently, the forecast is that we are currently expecting the jobs report to come in at 126,000 new jobs that were created during the month of May. Now, this is a significant decrease from the 177,000 that we had during the month of April. Trump is also, in the mix here as well. So this is also going to help us a lot to navigate these things around that specifically too. So Trump is pushing tariffs while calling for rate cuts. Now, if employment is increasing and everything is still going well, that could push his narrative. So this is definitely something that we would also need to look at. But on the other hand, the Fed is remaining cautious. So this is why this specific fundamental report is going to be such a key driver for us today. And as you can see on your screen at the moment, this is being released in the next 15 minutes. Now, gold as well is going to be probably the biggest mover during the specific release. So we are definitely going to have a look at that at the moment as well, because of the fact that it's been hovering just under that key resistance area for some time. So if that can break, we could potentially see higher points on gold, or we might see it dip down and give us new buying opportunities. So let's move over to our charts. Let's have a look at what is going on there at the moment. And I want to, let's start with the dollar. So let's kick things off with the dollar. Now, as you can see here already, pushing down quite sharply at the moment. And now also, if, for instance, if you see here, if that gets broken, if we could break below this little psychological level that's sitting here around basically almost 1.4 flat, that could already push the market down, and we could see it come and retest this area here around 1.138. And I even discussed this during my morning market breakdown this morning as well. Just something to note as well. So traders, please remember that today's NFP is not just about jobs. It's not just about a once-off trade. It's about momentum. This is going to decide whether the Fed is actually going to act, or how the Fed is going to act during this month. We are going to see, certain key levels being broken either to the downside or to the upside. And this is going to, drive markets for the next couple of weeks. So the data that we are going to be seeing being released in the next couple of minutes is absolutely critical for what is going to happen just now. Now, there are some things that I'm going to just note down as well. So please remember that everything that I'm sharing with you during this session should not be intended as financial advice. And on your end, manage risk. Trade what you see, not what you think or feel. And, as we react to the numbers that is going to be released, we're going to do it together. I'm going to be here to guide you. I'm going to be here to assist and answer your questions. So let's do that together, and let's actually now get into the charts as we can see them right here at the moment. Now, I just want to check if there has been any questions. So no questions coming in so far. Again, please pop those through to me. Let me hear from you. Let me know where you are logging in from. Let me know what you are going to be trading today. Let me know what direction you believe the market is going to be moving in today. Do you think we are going to see a spike up or down on gold or Euro USD or NASDAQ or whatever in that regard you are looking at trading? Personally, during these type of sessions, I enjoy trading Euro USD or S&P 500 just because I enjoy the price action on that a lot more than other pairs. But, we all have that love for gold and the crazy movements that we can see on that specific pair. So let's discuss a little bit some of the things that have been happening during the last while. Let's just talk during this specific week. As you can see on Euro USD, we've seen the dollar consistently weaken as it's been moving higher during this week as well. And that is because the fact that we saw other labor reports being released, ADP, which severely disappointed. The ADP came in at 37,000 new jobs in the private sector versus the 175,000 that was expected. Is this potentially what could be expected today? Is this what we are in for during this soon to be released new report? On top of that as well, talking Euro USD, we saw the ECB cut their rates by 25 basis points. Again, is this a precursor to what could happen now in the US? And again, we know if we're leading into more rate cuts within the US, especially after the ECB took more of a hawkish tone after the cut, could we see more upside potential on, for instance, a Euro USD or something in that regard? Now, as always, let's discuss potential outcomes here. If we see if we see a softer NFP report here today, and again, going back to the data here at the moment, expectations sitting at 126,000, okay? So if we look at the unemployment rate, that's expected to stay flat at 4.2%. And so let's discuss that. So 126,000. I believe anything under 126,000 will obviously be very bad for instance, Euro USD. And if it's under, we could potentially see a retest of this 1.15 level. But, if we get under 100,000, so let's go like really worst case scenario here, under 100,000, now some larger moves are coming into the market. Now we're going to see some bigger moves up, and that could even potentially aim for all the way up here, maybe even around that 1.157 level, should that result come out in that direction. Because again, remember, we saw that massive surprise on ADP. So if we see a similar surprise now with NFP, that could really push the market in a much higher trajectory and a much higher point. But now let's look on the flip side. If we get a better than expected result, what are the options? So I believe just a little bit better than expected. Let's aim for this 1.138 level. But if we are going to go a lot better than expected, it could even come down and retest this previous low points here around. I'll go for the psychological level here, which is that round figure at 1.13. That's also an option here for us. If we have a look at gold, let me just check. How much time do we have left? Yeah, we have about 9 minutes. So I still have some time to go through all the charts for you. Again, please, if there's any questions, let me know. Pop it into the chat section. Let's talk. Let's see how we can assist. So, but yeah, getting back into it. So if we get softer data, so if that slowing labor market continues, this could again drive safe haven demand. So then we can see gold pushing higher as well. And you know, for all my other traders out there who even like trading other pairs on gold, like for instance a XAU ZAR, so even this could push higher, and this can actually potentially break this consolidation channel that we've been trading in. And we can see XAU ZAR maybe even push up and go and retest that 60,800 Rand an ounce level, or maybe even all the way up to this higher resistance sitting here around basically 62,000 Rand an ounce. If we're looking at the dollar version, there's also a lot of options here for us at the moment. You know, if we get a weak NFP, which is currently the sentiment behind the market, that's currently what the market is aiming for. The market is leaning towards that potential weaker NFP in that regard. Then we could see gold break, firstly, this 3,380. If you're looking at these little spikes, you know, 3,385. But it could actually push and open up the market for a lot higher momentum. So that could lead to a retest of this 3,400 level at the moment, or even a push further up to around this 3,000. I would even go as far as to say 3,440 becomes an option. Now, again, if you are trading gold, if you go have a look at historical figures on gold, on historical times on gold, anytime NFP came out, you will see that gold normally has a spike kind of in the opposite direction to what the results are, and then you get that move higher. So if we look at that, for instance, again, now we are talking about softer NFP data. So if we get good NFP data, this obviously this option gets voided. But if we get a spike down and we get softer NFP data, that could open some, you know, buy the dip opportunities here at 3,325, or maybe even lower here at around 3,300 flat. Like, these are all becoming then options if we get that nice big spike. Again, based on the results, we'll have to look at that first before getting into any trades regarding that. But if we do get a strong NFP, this could lead to some profit taking on gold. So if we get a stronger NFP, there could be, as I'm saying, a lot of profit taking that might drag gold down. And again, if we have fundamental data driving the market in one direction, plus an increase of profit taking, we could see a potential retest down here at about 3,250, which, you know, these are creating crazy market conditions and also good opportunities. And this is why I stated earlier, you know, NFP is not just about the spike. It's not just about trading the market in one direction. It's about trading those various opportunities that NFP then creates for us going into the rest of the month. So let's go to one of my favorites here now. You know, here we have the S&P 500. Now, again, this one has been a wild ride. Okay, we got about 5 minutes left, so I still have some time to go through all these things and go through the market in this regard. Now, looking at the S&P 500, as I was stating, you know, this has been quite the wild ride during this week specifically. I mean, even just looking around yesterday, we we saw Trump and Elon Musk having, a bit of an argument regarding what's going on the market, and especially with regards to Trump's new bill, which is also creating a lot of disagreements between the two of them. And yeah, this has just been adding on and building to what we are currently seeing in the market. And again, we we saw a bit of a wobble, if I can call it that, because of other weak data. So if you look here at the end of May, there was this downtrend here as well. So could we see a reignition of that? Could we see this pushing down and going down further? And again, this is why I love NFP so much, because it creates these opportunities for us. Now, a soft NFP, and this is where I'm gonna shift my sentiment a little bit, because on the S&P 500, I'm relatively bullish right now personally. And remember, we are expecting that potential softer NFP. Now, if it drops, if we get that lower reading, this could actually maybe fuel a bit of a risk on rally. And that risk on rally could push the market all the way to around 6,000, maybe even further. These are all opportunities that we could potentially be seeing today as well. So from there on forward, though, if we get a stronger NFP, this could trigger some near-term selling pressure. And again, because now we're shifting the narrative to something else here. Now we're going to that, if we have a stronger NFP, we have that reduced rate cut expectations. And when we have reduced rate cut expectations, that could actually push the stock market into a bit of a sell-off. So these are all additional things that we do need to look at as the data is being released just now. Now, I think that was kind of it from me from an analysis point of view as to what could potentially happen. So now let's get closer to what is going to happen. So, and then let's talk about it from there on forward. Now, again, the data is going to be released in like the next few minutes. So for some, we're already seeing NFP moving higher. So, S&P moving higher. Gold is pushing down lower already. Euro USD is also pushing down quite a bit lower. So let's see what happened over here. Let me just refresh. Let's go back to today. So I'm just going to scroll down. Okay, so here we can see, okay, so the NFP data is officially out and it has been released. So NFP came out a lot better than expected. So instead of the 126,000, it came in at a whopping 139,000 new jobs that were created. Where's the unemployment rate? The unemployment rate stayed at 4.2%, so that's a good thing as well. So again, a little bit of positivity for the dollar. And average hourly earnings also increased. It went up from the expected 0.3% to a 0.4%, which is also a significant increase from the 0.2% that we got the previous month. So, but again, look at this. Now we got that big spike. So we did get that spike down and now it's starting to retrace. So even on gold, we should see something very similar. So it was pushing down. Now we could potentially even see that push further down to the support level. And again, this can now create some opportunities within the market. So as we were discussing during the entire first part of this, session. So here we can also see S&P really pushing quite a bit higher here at the moment. So again, creating some great opportunities and creating some potential here that this could, move in certain directions. So let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes down. And as this retracement is now taking place, that could also create additional opportunities for, buying a little, entering into some short positions at those higher levels, and then waiting for the market to dip a little bit lower. These are also some options that we have available to us right now. So there might be a little bit of a retracement and a retest of that, well, now newfound. So let me actually change this. So this newfound support level that we have here at 5,960. So this could actually come back for a retest, and then we could see it push a little bit higher back up to that 6,000 level. So these are some options that we have available there. And again, yeah, this could also, let's see, but I highly doubt it will, break lower than that support and now come back down to retest here at 5,935. I don't think really personally that's an option anymore for us. But moving over to gold, this beautifully came down for that spike here at the bottom, as I stated a little bit earlier in the session. So that was exactly what I was looking for. I actually was hoping for a spike a little bit further down, more towards this, 345 level. It stopped around 349.5 and then just turned around and shot up and is now trading around that 3,362 level. Euro USD, very similar, shot down, dropped all the way to this 1.13855 level, and then started shooting back up again. Look at how beautifully these levels were respected. That trend line that I added in prior to the release of NFP, we pushed through, it came down, got into some nice entries, and is now pushing a little bit higher up again. Even if we look at our RSI here at the bottom on the 15-minute time frame, look how close we were to that oversold level. And now the market is just nicely bouncing back from there and could even potentially keep pushing up until this RSI is even closer to this 50 level, or maybe even closer to around that 60 level even. These are all becoming options. So definitely creating some nice opportunities. I actually want to see how XAU ZAR reacted to all of this. Not as big of a movement here, but okay, that's also, it's not directly linked to the dollar. So that is also to be expected to some extent. Yes, we did get a little bit of a dip. Yes, it dipped a little bit lower there, but not as crazy as these nice movements that we got on XAU USD. S&P is still pushing up, but now found that, closing point here at 5,983. So now again, we're just going to wait and see. Are we going to see this push up and retest this higher level here at 6,000? Or is this going to come back down and retest? If this bullish momentum continues, this could be a really nice level here at 6,000 to start looking for some trades. Maybe just that initial retracement or a break above 6,000 could just keep pushing this into that higher momentum and higher levels that we could see during the rest of next week. But traders, I think that brings us to the end of today's session. I do hope that you found this live analysis beneficial. And if you want to see more of this, let me know. Please get in touch with us here at ATFX. And if you want to trade with the best Forex broker in Africa, and that is not just something that we say on a live or a video, this is actual awards being won. This was actually our latest award that we got at the Fame Awards. So that was at FMIS 2025, where we were awarded the best Forex broker in Africa. So if you want to experience the difference for yourself, head over to atfx.com/en-za, which is the South African website, and go experience the difference for yourself. See what is on offering there as well, and let's help you navigate the markets in a more concise manner. As I stated in the beginning of this session as well, please remember that nothing shared during this session should be considered financial advice. We were just providing analysis on what the market was doing and how the market was reacting to certain market releases. Always apply proper risk management to each and every one of your trades. And I will see you during the morning market brief on Monday morning. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.